All right, it looks like I'm live. I'm on like 3 different screens. I'm on my phone, I'm on my streaming software, and I'm on my desktop. So I'm gonna shut all the volumes off so I don't hear myself. And let's hope it works. So I can't hear a ding. So if you do send me a message, please comment and let me know you're here. I've apparently been live for 4 minutes, which is yay! I have a viewer. So say hi, please, so I know who's here. It's really nice knowing that folks are here and that they've seen it and they are here and they like the comments. Let's see. All right, there we go. We're not going to share. There. Now I should be able to comment. You should be able to do whatever you need to do. I have no viewers now. I had one, now gone. So who knows? Anyway, I'm going to do 2 cards today, and we're using lovely celebration paper today because I am in love with it. I don't have all of the colors in front of me. Yes, I do. I thought I didn't, but oh, no, that's not one of them. So let's see. Haha. I found them. It takes me a minute to dig underneath here. I have just what I need out, but I wanted you to see all the colors. So it comes in a pack of 6 by 6, and you're going to have Blackberry Bliss and Granny Apple Green, Rococo Rose, and Bermuda Bay. That's the side with the design on it. It's got little circles. And then you'll also get the same thing in just ombre effect paper. So let's see, I'm trying to find, here's the other one. And there's the colors. So that's what we're using. That's the paper we're using. And I'm going to do 2 cards for you today. One is going to have the Hello Chicken. I may change it to the Darling Donkeys. And one's going to have a Darling Donkey just because I think he's so cute. But if I had some cut out, I would also use the Oh Snap. I think it's Oh Snap, or I don't know. It's got a turtle and a giraffe and some other little critter with it, and it's absolutely adorable. And I have a friend that her birthday is today. So if you see this, hi Brittany, happy birthday. Or Max, today is Max's birthday. Max is my donor's brother. Diana, who's here, is her brother. So hey big brother, happy birthday. So anyway guys, we've got just a few more minutes. So if you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to ask. Leave comments, questions, send me a message on the Facebook. Either way works for me. You can also email me. I'm good with that too. It's amy@stampinwithheart.com. So I've also got my coffee here because in my craft room, it's 61 finally. I didn't have the heat up, and I did this little thing of bathing my little white schnauzer this morning because we have nicknamed him Peaches and Orangelo because he's a white schnauzer and he is orange. So he looks like the clay dirt. He matches the clay outside. So I decided when I took my shower this morning, I would bathe. He's shivering, so I wouldn't let him come with me today. He was like really mad at me. So I ended leaving him in my tiny house on the couch, wrapped in a heart-shaped blanket. He was really pathetic this morning. He was in here with me the first thing this morning when I turned the heater on, and he's at the door. He's shivering. It's like, all right, buddy, I'm going to go make some coffee, and you're going to stay in the house. Sorry. He's not happy. So it's all right. It'll be fine. So guys, I'm ready to get rolling. So I'm going to flip you over so you can see my desk and you can see what we're going to make today. And let's flip it here, take this off. And so here's my lovely little mess. Today's hostess code for this month is HTKS, like Sam, N like Nancy, B like ball, X like xylophone, and the number 2. So if you are going to make a purchase, please use the hostess code. And when doing the hostess code, if you're making a purchase over $150, please do not use my hostess code. Get the rewards for yourself. and you will still get my $50 gift. I think I'm dropped it down to 40, 45. I don't know. I'd have to look at my blog, but I will send card kits out this month, and they're going to be randomly from some of our DSP. I've got a couple of designs I've worked in my head, and I don't have them completed yet to show you samples, but they're kind of a surprise at the end of the month. The class will be on February 25th, and it will be a virtual class as well. I'm going to tweak on that. We had some hiccups last month. So anyway, these are the cards we're going to make. We're going to make this one, and this says happy birthday on it, and it's with our chickens. And our chickens, they are now in a pre-order status so that you can get the dies that go with the hey birthday chick. And these are the dies right here. So I have them all set up, and I love these little dies. But what's so fun about these particular dies is that do you remember the celebration set that we had that had the new birthday chick? I don't have it sitting right here. Oops, don't want to drop my stuff. It should be right here somewhere. Awesome. Blue. Heart. That's not it. I'm looking for it because I know I had it out. I don't know where it is. So guys, I will just have to show you a picture of that. But that one, they came back and they're going to reissue it this month. This month only, you'll be able to get the celebration birthday chick. No, it's hey chick. And it will have dies. And the dies for this one are really great. I'm going to do a card with those probably next week, and we'll show you the chicken dies because those chicken dies are really cute. We're going to be doing this one with the Oh So Ombre paper, and we're also going to be doing, okay, where did my sample go? Here's all the card pieces for it. Ah, here it is. We've got all of our pieces parts sitting over here, but this is the sample of the other card. And I use the Darling Donkeys on this one. You could use a chicken. You could use any one of these, but this also has the Approaching Perfection from the Celebration kit. So this is a lot of our celebration. I've been trying to play with these because, you know, after a while I won't be able to use them. I'll use them for personal cards, but I won't be able to show you ideas because then you won't be able to get it. Hey, Tracy, how are you doing? So I'm going to be using this one today for my sentiments, and I'll be using these little guys on the stamp here from the, this is from the So Sentimental. So let's get started. I'm going to do this one first. I do need to stamp my chicken. I'm going to go ahead and go with the chicken because that's what we already have on here. Let me move all of these little guys out of the way. All my pieces parts that I've cut up for everything. Okay, and this guy is, I actually got it from one of the other ladies. I don't remember if it was from our North Carolina group or if it was somebody I saw on Pinterest. When I post it on the blog, I will try to give her credit because I don't remember who it is at the moment off the top of my head. But this is such an adorable little card. She actually used the Darling Donkeys on it. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the chickens. This is the card we're going to do. I did the inside as well. So we used just one sheet of 6x6 paper. So we're going to do it in Granny Apple Green today. So I have everything cut out except for my chicken. You're going to have a 5.5. Well, it's 8 1/4 by 11, scored at 4.5 or 4 1/4. Whisper White cardstock, or actually, since we no longer have Whisper White, it's basic white cardstock. I use the thick for my card base. So that's what I've got there. I also have, for the outside, this is 4 by 5. Yeah, 4 by 5 1/4 of Granny Apple Green. That will go right on top. Then I have this piece of white, and everything is 1/4 down. So this piece is, let's see, 3 3/4 by 5. And then this one is 3.5 by 4 3/8, or 4 3/4. Blah, 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 of Granny Apple Green Oh So Ombre. And then we have a piece from the So Sentimental dies, just cut in Whisper White, like that. And then you're gonna have this piece left over and this piece left over from your DSP. So we're gonna use this piece on the inside, this piece on an envelope. So you get to use up all of your pieces and you're not wasting any. On the inside, you're going to have, this is, let's see, I don't like this particular grid. It doesn't have dimensions on it, and I hate that. So this has 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so we're going to have this on there, and then we're going to have a piece of Whisper White on top of that so you can write, and then you're going to have your extra little piece, and it just fits perfectly down here, just like that. I'll have all the dimensions on the blog post because, you know, I'm not really good at having them all written down for me ahead of time. So just the way it is. But what we're going to start is, this is how it's going to layer. I'm going to do the inside first because it's seriously simple to do the inside. So I'm going to layer my pieces first. And you can put whatever sentiment you want on the inside. I don't generally do my sentiments on the inside until I'm ready to give out the card. I'm just putting a little glue. And I'm going to lay it down right here. And let's see. Okay. And then I'm going to take my little teeny tiny piece of green, apple green. And I'm just going to put a little glue on the bottom of that so it will tie the inside into the rest of the card. And this little Hey Chick card, or little Hey Chick set, has this cute little chicken right here. You could put him on the inside as well. That would be so cute. And then you're just literally going to glue this one down as well. As much glue as you like. And we're just going to put this on the inside. Center it so it gives it some nice clean look. So there's your inside of your card. Very pretty. And then we're going to do the outside. And I'm going to set this aside. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take Granny Apple Green ink. And I'm using, this is one of my favorite little tricks. I've used it for a card I did recently as well with Valentine's. Taking the Painted Poppies, and I'm going to use this stamp set and this stamp set with my Granny Apple Green. And we're going to make a background for our chicken. And I need to get my blocks. Let's see, we've got a block here and a block here. There we go. And I'm going to take the little tiny piece cut from the So Sentimental. I think it's like the second or third die. I will put it in there for you so that you know. I actually have the stamp set out because I will need to cut out from the other set as well. So what we're going to do is take the watercolor mark, and we're going to do a little stamping off. As you can see, I did stamping off for my other one, and I didn't want to throw out this piece of paper yet. So I'm going to stamp off and stamp on. Stamp off and stamp on. Stamp off, stamp on. And when you're just going to kind of go around this, you can leave it in the center, however you like, but wherever you have double, it will be twice. And which is okay because your chicken's going to go over that. Now that you've got that done on here, you're just going to take, and you're going to use full strength on the blob. And literally just kind of make sure so that when you put your chicken on it, you're going to see some of that blob peek out. And you really don't need a lot. Like I may take, let's see, the back side of my green here, because I won't need it, to put just a little over here. Just so I can get some of that color everywhere else, but I don't want it all over the whole thing. I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. But the nice beauty part of doing it this way is you're not going to see that side anyway because it's going to be on the back. Hey, Brenda, how are you doing today? I see you're here. And we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to just put a little over here. And I'm done. I'm not going to do any more to my little green piece. Little Granny Apple Green like that. And we're going to sit that to the side and put my stamp to the side because I'm done with those now. I'm even going to close up my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my chicken. And I have a piece of Whisper White somewhere around here that I've had on the side. Actually, I think I'm going to use the dancing chicken today instead of the chicken with the balloon. I just think it'll look cuter with this one. So let me get my little piece of white out. Just a little piece of white scrap so I can my chickens. Let's see if I've got room to stamp both because I'm not really sure which one I like. Got a vote, guys? The dancing chicken or the chicken with a balloon? We're going to use Memento ink for this one. And we need to get a big, long stamp for this one if we use this one. And we need another small one for this one. Here we go. I'm going to stamp this little guy up. And I know you really can't see me. I'm trying really hard to make sure that you guys can see me. And we're going to stamp him on this Whisper White or basic white. Whatever white you got works. So there's our dancing chicken. And I'm going to see if I have room to stamp this chicken. Might stamp him this way. That way I don't have to use the whole balloon if I don't want to. And I won't use the whole balloon because it didn't fit on the balloon. There we go. So if I do him, I'll cut that out so that we won't have to worry about the balloon not being there. There we go. Now I'm going to take these, and I have the dies for this. So I'm just going to cut those out. Give me a second, and I will take these to the side and cut them out because here are the dies for this. Use this one and this. And we could decorate him and put a little bow on the chicken. You know, we could put a little fence with it. It would be really cute. And it's even got a little happy birthday die. Oh, here's my scrap of white. It was in my die cutting machine. How funny. Such a blonde move. I was too busy talking to my mom this morning and bathing my poor dog. And we're going to have to cut these one at a time. And I really could have used my little mini cut and emboss machine, but I didn't get it out this morning because I was busy talking to my mom. So it's okay. My Big Shot sits right here at the ready all the time, so we're good. I really want to get the magnetic plate for that mini emboss and cut. It'll make things so much easier. Because when I'm cutting out with dies, that's what I really, oh, and I really messed that one up. So I think I'm going to use him because I really messed that one up. So what I'm going to do is color my chicken. I'm going to put this one to the side because I don't like how it cut out. Move this over because we don't need it right now. Let's color this chicken. And I'm going to do him. Hi, Cindy. How are you? I'm going to do him in some, I love the real dark cherry cobbler. I'm going to do his little gobble gobble and his hairline on the top in this bright red. I mean, I know it doesn't really match, but I like it. Actually, I'm going to do just a touch. That's his feet. And I don't have any orange, so I'm just going to leave it just like that. Maybe a little gray in here for him. Just a little gray around his little, I don't know what those are, little feathers. Might put some red in that too. Just give it a little bit of color and just kind of go around the edges. And you really don't have to put a lot of color in these. And then you can use a blender pen to blend some of this out. And I'll have to go get my blender pen because I did not bring my blender pen over here on this. There we go. Just a little bit of color. Not a lot on him because we've got all this green everywhere. You get that blender pen. I have two and I can never remember which one is my good one. Okay, this is it. And then I'm just going to blend this gray out a little bit. Pulling in some of that gray and lightening it up just a hair. And the same with this red, especially in the spots where I have it so that it blends in. And I really should do the beak. But again, I don't have any orange, which is what I would like to do in the beak. So we'll just do a little green. Just a dot of it, I mean, just to give a touch of color. And what we're going to do with this is he's just going to pop right on here. And you could either do two things with this. You could either use the die cut that says happy birthday, or what I'm going to do is just stamp happy birthday in Memento Green, which we have a happy birthday stamp in here. And I'm just going to stamp happy birthday in the Memento ink. All right, let's see. And that AY is kind of full there. My Memento ink is really full on one side, trying to get it to lighten up, and it's been really hard. All right, let's try this. Oh, and it didn't do very dark, and I can't redo it. So we will cut that out with the birthday sentiment, and we're just going to pop him up with some dots, some dimensionals. Just use a few dimensionals here. And my happy birthday is really terrible. It just did not come out very bright. Here we go. Now we're going to put this together. It's very simple to do. We've got our outside already. Cover this ink so I don't have it all over me and the rest of the card. And we're literally just going to layer everything down first, then we'll put the whole thing together. Okay? So I'm going to start with my Granny Apple Green base here and just start putting some colors on. Going to do the white first, and you could take and texture this. You could do a whole lot with this instead of leaving it just plain white, but you won't even know that it's plain white unless you're really looking. You'll just have that nice clean trim. I'm going to put my white to the bottom so that we won't see so much of this lighter color. I like the darker with this. And then we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals again. And I don't use a lot of dimensionals because a lot of my cards are going to nursing homes and they're giving them to each other, which I find so sweet. And there's a assisted living facility here in Statesville that I started talking to a lady by the name of Jackie, and I've been bringing them in. I brought them in around Christmas time, and I brought them a whole bunch of cards. So there's the front of your card, and you're just going to stick this right on the front there. Trying to get this dimensional cover. They're so clingy with the static. It's ridiculous. They cling to everything. And then I'm going to plop this down right here. So we've got a great layered card with a chicken, and it says happy birthday. And I'm going to actually die cut out the happy birthday and stick it right there because I'm not liking how that looks. So, and then what are we going to do with that extra piece? Well, here's what we're going to do with that extra piece to use up all of that DSP. Remember, we had this piece left over. I'm going to adhere it to my envelope to coordinate. So I'm just going to put some glue on my envelope, and then we'll trim it out. And that's it. And because I did stamp on this side, which it doesn't really matter, you won't really notice it. And then I'm going to put this right here on the edge of my envelope base. Make sure it folds with no trouble. And I see a little white right there, so I'm going to pull it up. Still have a little white right there, so I'm going to pull this up a little bit. There we go. And once I get that on there really well, I'm going to just trim this off. Get out my little scissors. And we're just going to come around here and we're going to trim. And it's fussy cutting. I don't really like fussy cutting, but it does add such a sweet hint to your card. And again, you could stamp the envelope with that little silly chicken. You could put "Let's Celebrate." You could put anything you want on your envelope. And this is enough that should be good for any kind of envelope that you get. I buy my envelopes from Hobby Lobby only when they're on sale. I don't buy them any other time. And when they're 40% off, they do they're the Paper Studios envelopes. And I get a whole box of 100 for like $6. It is so much cheaper than what Stampin' Up! Sells them for. I hate to say that because I love Stampin' Up! For so many other reasons, but it is what it is. And there is your card. I will post a picture of this card with the black happy birthday, but I'm not going to take the time to do that today while we're on the video because I do have to go get my grandson for noon because his daddy went to work today. And Mimi has been requested to make some gingerbread cookies with him, and I said, only if you got a smiley face at work. So there is this card. And now I'm getting ready to go ahead and we'll do the other one. Here's the first card I did. So there you go. I think I like it in the Bermuda Bay better, but it's still an adorable card. You could do this in any of the colors with the Oh So Ombre paper. It would be beautiful. Now we're going to go on to our next card. And this one uses a lot of scraps from the Oh So Ombre paper. So I've got a piece of the DSP, and I've got it in just the plain Bermuda Bay, and I've got scraps of every color that I've used. I have pink, I have Bermuda Bay, I have Granny Apple Green, and I have the purple. And I have just a piece of 5.5 by 4 1/4 of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut this down so that it will meet into my card base, and it's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And I am trying to keep most of the darker color on it, so all of your light ombre paper will go to the side. So you won't see that so much. And you could take the rest of these little pieces and use them on the inside of your card. Okay, so here's the base, and it's going to go like this. Okay, but I'm not going to attach this yet. I've got these little pieces here. I'm going to keep the white separately, and these are all at a 1/2 inch. I just had strips left over. They're all at a 1/2 inch. You could even use this little 1/2 inch piece from cutting your envelope. So we're going to layer these, and I'm going to layer them like this. I like the green on the bottom, and then we're going to do the purple, which is this one. And then we've got a pink on top. Okay. Now you could add more layers. You could do more strips. Entirely up to you. I don't mind. You do whatever. You do you. How's that? So now I'm going to take these, and I'm just going to put a little glue on them. I'm going to try to pay attention. I don't want them to go any bigger. You could go ahead and cut them. But what I do is I just take my strips, lay them down. And this is what I'm trying to do, is find out what to do with all these extra pieces of paper. You know? So I'm just going to put these on here. And lay them down. And try to keep the distance apart from them almost the same as I lay them down. And I'm not sure you can see that, but there you go. And you could use whatever paper you like to do this particular method. It would be really cool with any paper that had a pattern and a solid color. Like our black and white True Love paper would be really nice. Okay, so I've got those down, and I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to trim these off. And I'm going to make sure whatever did not glue down very well, I'm going to go back and put a little extra glue. Just so that they get down and I don't have them coming apart on me later. There we go. So those are down, and we're good to go. Now, if you want to put the sentiment, it's going to go on here. I will do this little square first. This is from the So Sweetly dies. And I need to get that die, which is right here. It's my So Sweetly dies. And this one for the other card is the second die, the second rectangular die here. Now, for this one, we're going to use, I believe I used this one. No, I used the next one. I used the second smallest for this. So what I'm going to do is take my Approaching Perfection stamp set here. This is from our celebration. And it's got these cute little candles for birthdays. I was like, that's adorable. So what am I going to do with those? So I decided I would make some candles on a card. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take my scrap piece of white. And I'm going to color my candles here, right here, with some Stampin' Write markers. I have one in every color of the Oh So Ombre paper with me. I have the Granny Apple Green, the Bermuda Bay, the Rococo Rose, and the Blackberry Bliss. So what I did is I did one of every color, and then the stripe one, I kind of did all of the colors on it. So it doesn't matter which ones you do in what color. That's entirely up to you. And then I used a black marker for the fire. The little fire sticks right there. I just use our black one. So I'm literally just coloring these strips with my Stampin' Write markers. And I'm using the brush tip here, the little brush tip. And I'm coloring them. I have no particulars for how I'm coloring them. But I'm making sure that I use, not the writing tip, the painting tip. And then I'm going to do Bermuda Bay last, and all the darker colors. I'm going to use these light colors first, because these light colors can be colored over very easily. And I do want to try to get all of the colors in this actual piece. Even if it's just very little, I want to try to get all these colors in here. And look, see that I've only got one spot for the Bermuda, or the purple, the Blackberry Bliss. And I have to go get my black. So one marker I should leave on my desk, and the one marker that Stampin' Up! Sells on its own now. It doesn't sell these other colors single anymore. So, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to color all of the little black, the little sprigs and sparklies of these candles. And then we do the traditional huff, where you huff on with your breath. You huff on that, and then we're just going to come over here and we're going to stamp it on this cardstock. So you get some really cool little cards. Now we're going to take this die, and we're going to cut it just how we want it. I'm going to actually cut it here like this so you can see what I'm going to do, and then I'll show you how I put it back on there to trim it. These little dies out of my way. And it's fun because you got to line this up just so. There we go. That's why the little cut would have been so much easier to use for this post today. But I digress. I want that magnetic plate desperately. But I'm not getting it, so, you know, they don't have it out yet. They've had some issues with it. Okay, so now that I've got this cut like this, I'm trying to get it out of the light, I'm going to put this down and let it sort of fall into where all those stitches go. But I want to try to make sure I have the same amount of room. So right there's where it's going to fall. So I'm just going to go ahead and run it back through, only on this side. So then when it pulls it off with a nice pretty edge. So now that we've got that done, we're going to stick this here right in the middle, and I'm using some dimensionals as well to keep that popped up. Right, like that. And then we've got the darling donkeys. And try not to have everything fall on the floor. Now we've got our darling donkeys. Now my favorite thing with the darling donkeys and a lot of these little stamp sets like this is I have my brother scan and cut. And I actually stamp and cut a ton of my little guys. So I have these cut out, ready to be colored and ready to use whenever I want. So I wasn't so concerned about this one. And I really should do it for my chickens, but you know. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to color him. The way I colored him was just a little Rococo Rose, which I'm not sure you can see. Let me move this out of the way. Just a little Rococo Rose in his ears here. And this is, I hope, the light one. It is the light Rococo Rose. And you could blend that out if it's a little too bold for you. And then I took the light gray, the light smoky slate, and I literally just trimmed around him, coloring a little trim around his ears. You could do this in the brown if you'd like. And I did around here. Anywhere that he's going to be really dark, I just put a little trim around it with this gray. And then I'm going to come back in with the blends and put in a little color with that. Not a lot. I'm actually going to add just a hair of the really dark. Not with that end, I'm not. These are drying up on me. I use them so much. Not with the dark, I'm not doing that with the dark. So, okay, we're not putting that color of gray in there. I'll put a little of this and go over it twice. This is the light gray, and I'm going to put his hair, make his hair really dark with the light gray. And I'm going to do the same thing with his tail. Just make it a darker color of gray. And I'll have to do the same thing with his hooves. Because his hooves need to have color too. I think he's colored over here. Yeah, his hooves are black in my other card. And I'm just going to go over them with several coats of this light color on his hooves. There we go. Then I take my blends and I just kind of blend these colors in a little bit. Kind of lightens them up. And you don't really notice that it lightens it up all that much until it dries, because this puts some of that alcohol marker in it. And you will notice it after it dries up a little bit. So now that we've got him painted, we can pop him with dimensionals as well. One on his head and one on his body. Don't know why he don't want to stick. The top does not want to come off of this particular dimensional. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to sit him right on top. And there he goes. And now let's do that sentiment. I have the same size as I did from the others. This is a 1/2 inch wide, and I left the length because I wasn't sure how long I was going to go. And this particular approaching perfection, it has this stamp that says, so what if you're a year older? You're fabulous. I kind of just did the first sentiment, which is right here. And let's go ahead and use this one again. Take my happy birthday. You could do just happy birthday. You could do really whatever you want, but I'm trying to show you different ways to use your stamps. And we're going to use, you can use whatever color you want. I use black. I'm looking for my black marker. Here's my black marker. And I'm literally going to just color in. And you could do this on your Stamparatus so that you could actually do this a couple of times. So if it doesn't color in very well the first time, you could do it again and again and again. Because my first time I did the happy birthday, didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And if I'd have done it on the Stamparatus, I would have been able to redo that. Don't forget to do your huffing. Give some little juice to that marker. And I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to try to center it. If you see my head, I'm sorry. So I'm going to center it here in this. And I see a dimensional cover in there. And it worked perfectly. So what if you're a year older? You can see that. And I'm literally going to put some more dimensionals on this. I'm actually going to use the mini dimensionals on this one because I don't want it to show. And I'm going to go down to the edge of the sew. And I'm just going to pop this on, and then I will trim it to however big I want it. Because I could go the same length, but this one is not quite the same length. Just so you can see that sentiment popping out. We're just going to come over here. I might come down here. Actually, I think I need to trim off a little at the end. There we go. That right there. And right on the edge, maybe put it a little under. Line her up. And then I'm going to come right here by the sew and trim her off. There you go. Now you have completed your front of your card. You just pop this right on top. And if I can get glue to come out, it will be even better. And there you go. And you're going to pop this right onto a card base of 8.5 by 11 and score it at 4 1/4. And you're going to pop this right on top. And that's it. Now you've got a beautiful card. Here are both of them. So you can see both. There you go. And of course, this is making everything blurry. There you go. There's both of those cards. And here's both of our other cards that we've made. Inked cards out of the way, and I still have time to go get my grandson. Woohoo! But there's these two cards, and these come with matching envelopes. I have my matching envelope over here for the Bermuda Bay. And here's the Bermuda Bay envelope for this one. So you have 2 matching envelopes, cards, and then we have the 2 Darling Donkey cards. Are they not just fresh? I think they're adorable. You could use a chicken or any other critter with this one. It would look great. The same with this particular one. You see I've used 2 different chickens here. And on this card, if you've noticed, I have a strip of the polka dot ribbon. I decided not to do that with you because you can't see it very well and it doesn't look good. So with that said, let me bring my ugly mug back for you so you can see me. I hope you've enjoyed today's class and that you get inspired to create something absolutely adorable. That's a great way to use up some DSP and snippets. I will probably have one of these cards in the February card kit, and there will be a PDF instruction for it as well. That won't be out on the blog, but it will be for those who do get the card kit. So, guys, have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next Wednesday. I'm going to try to start doing 10:30 since it seems to be better for most of my folks, just a little later. And then we'll be doing our classes on the third Thursday of every month. And those will be our card classes. And those are free for anybody who does a $50 order. So y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye. Much love. Mwah.